Alright, so we're going to have a look at Stephanie's snatch, but before we start, check out those shoulders. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we're going to start first of all by looking at her setup, and here, in terms of her setup, ideally what we'd like to see is a steeper torso angle, okay? So I would rather what looks like we've got some space in between her shins and the barbell down there. So I would rather her hips were lower, so the hips drop down a little bit. Those knees can go forward a little further as a consequence. So we have a more vertical torso angle in that setup position. What that will do is help to shift the body weight a little bit further from the toes and onto the heels. So as Stephanie starts her snatch, what you'll see is a change in the angle of her shoulders to hips as she rises up. So as she rises up, you'll see the hips take off just a fraction of a second further. But as she continues to rise, although her shoulders are rising as well, her back angle is slowly getting flatter and flatter and flatter. Now, as soon as she passes her knees down here, if you see down here, there is all of a sudden a whole lot of air. Now here, what's happened is she has completely extended her legs, and there's space in between her barbell and her legs. Her legs are fully extended, which means that now her snatch is entirely lower back, okay? And what happens from there is as she comes forward to try and jump, she actually ends up doing almost a kettlebell swing. You'll see here she smacks the barbell with her hips, and the bar path, which was more or less straight to start with, is now going to go in a big arc all the way around in front of her as she smashes that barbell with her hips. And you'll see at this position here, her arms bend a tiny bit early, but they don't bend any more than that. They then stay pretty much straight. As a consequence of staying straight, there's a massive distance between her and the barbell. So it's making a big arc around her body, and then she has to come forward. She has to try and jump forward to get underneath that bar and bring it around over the top. And that results in a super landing position on her toes. Okay, so Stephanie, the biggest errors we would like to see you fix are first in your stance, in your setup. We'd like to have a lower hips and a chest more vertical, and then as you come up, pull those knees back. Now hopefully keeping that chest up earlier will fix that position so that you still have the same back angle as when you started, and drag those arms up, elbows high and outside. Don't hit that barbell with your hips.